All right, we are live. Okay, so hi everyone. Okay, I have Stedin with me. Hello, say hi. I have a feeling that she's very uncomfortable, but well, okay, everyone loves her. Okay, say hi. Okay, so hi everyone. Welcome to this series of Faces of Asia Econs. My name is Jeffrey, and I'm the Chief Educator of Asia Econs. Faces of Asia Econs is a community event we've established this year to support our current students to cope with their A levels through interviews with our ex graduates on how they have managed to cope with theirs. These ex graduates will be sharing career guidance tips and course selection tips in universities. So to parents and students watching this live event, please help to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can receive latest updates on upcoming events. Please also share this live event with your friends, family, colleagues, so they can benefit from the collective wisdom of our graduates. All right, so today we have Karyn. You want to say hi to everyone? Hi, Karyn.
Hi, everyone.
All right, so Karyn was from the batch of 201718 and formerly from Hwa Chong Institute. She is currently studying European Social and Political Studies at UCL, specializing in international relations, law, and German. Okay, a fun fact that nobody knows about Karyn is that she is very prone to back injuries and have injured her back 3 times before. All right, so welcome, Karyn. Oh, I didn't know you're so prone to back injury.
Yeah.
How's your back? Is it better?
Yeah, now it's fine, but it was like last time then.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Don't be like me. Okay. I think I mentioned to you, right? Yeah. I had a slip disc. And not fun to
Oh,
nurse.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll start off the first segment. Okay, by getting Karyn to share with us. Okay, her JC journey. So her highs and lows of JC journey. So Karyn, would you like to share with us what is your peak or what is your happiest moment in Hwa Chong? Okay, and what is your lowest period in Hwa Chong?
I think one of the highest periods that I can definitely remember would be submitting my knowledge and inquiry independent study paper. It sounds very academic, but it took a lot of time and a lot of thinking and a lot of efforts. Maybe some tears along the way, but then like it was. Yeah, but I was like really, really happy when I printed everything out, got it binded and submitted it. It just felt like I felt very like accomplished, and I felt like I achieved quite a lot also through that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, one of the very few students that I thought that actually took KI. I haven't
Yeah.
actually encountered anyone else taking KI. Well, I would say that 99, 90, a huge. Okay, I wouldn't say 90 lah. Okay, but everyone else that I thought is taking GP. But I just
Yeah.
want to check for KI. There's a written report, right, to submit. Is it? What's the
Yeah,
weightage
it's
of that?
I can't remember, but I think it's about 30% of your final A level grade. Yeah,
Okay.
so there's this independent study paper that you basically start concentrating on it in your second year of JC. Then it's
Mm-mm.
basically like you have to do a proposal, you have to draft it, send it to your teacher, make sure that your topic is good to go before you start writing it. Then you submit it before the actual A levels. Yeah.
Is it something like PW? Just that it's done alone.
Uh, it's a bit like PW, but the topic
Okay.
covers like basically philosophy and epistemology. Yeah, these things. Yeah.
Wow. Now I can see why you're so happy.
Yeah.
All right, Karyn, what about some your lowest period in Hwa Chong? Where is one of the period where you felt like you're going to break and you tear, you cry. Maybe you can share with our target audience today.
Yeah. I think I think throughout JC there were like many lows, and then it was all surrounding the same topic, which was not getting good grades. Like I'm one of the people that would always get I think you call it like DESU, like DESU grades, like DESU grades for like econs and I think history. Yeah, econs and history were my two weaker subjects, especially econs. That always get used. That was really like
Oops.
really sad. Yeah, that would be like really, really sad because like I felt like I worked really hard, but I just wasn't getting there and I wasn't getting the results and I didn't really know how to improve either. Yeah.
All right. All right, so thanks for sharing. Desu is actually if for people who are watching, Desu is actually a Japanese term, Japanese language, right?
Yeah.
Just so coincidentally. Okay, so thanks for sharing. Now we'll move on to your subject combination. So apart from your KI that you previously mentioned, are there any what are other subjects that you took, and why is it that you choose this subject combination?
I took four H2 subjects: history, econs, English literature, and knowledge and inquiry. Um, the initial reason why I took knowledge and inquiry was because my math is really really bad. So like if I take KI, I don't have to take math. So that was one of my
Oh.
yeah, that was one of my main
So
motives.
smart.
Yeah, because I knew if I was gonna take math, like it just wasn't gonna work out. Like so I decided to take that. But all along the way, I've always been very very into humanities as well. So I just have a natural inclination towards literature, philosophy. So to me, that subject combination felt the most compatible with my own interests also. Yeah,
Okay, so I don't know, but you don't need to take GP when you take KI, right?
yeah, you don't have to.
So is that like a hidden incentive to take KI because you can skip GP and
I
just for H2? So
I suppose so, but also like KI comes with its own set of difficulties as like GP does also. Yeah.
okay. So am I right to sum up to say that because of your inclination towards arts and humanities, that's why you picked this combination?
Yeah.
And I'm aware that KI is not actually offered in many other schools, right? So others
Yeah.
have no choice but to take combinations like Helm. but
Yeah.
but you're so smart to circumvent this.
It's a strategy.
Okay, but I don't know. Okay, for especially for people who are watching this, especially Hwa Chong students, please let me know. Okay, if is KI is only offered in Hwa Chong because I don't really see this combination in other schools. All right. So once again, okay. So if you are watching this video, okay, and you will have if you have a question for Karyn, okay, please drop us a question anytime. If not, feel free to like and share this video, okay, with your good friend, okay, so that they can actually gain the collective wisdom of our ex-graduates. All right, so now let's move on to your current course and career. Hey, so before that, just now I was actually looking at the script when I actually introduced your course. Okay, so maybe you would like to share with our audiences, okay, why did you pick your current course, and what are some of the career prospects of your current course?
I think from secondary school until JC, I was in the debate team. So because of
Mm-hmm.
that, I was exposed to a lot of things about like globalization, politics, international relations, conflicts between countries. So I always knew that my interest was lying in international relations and politics, but I didn't want to do that because I felt like firstly I wanted to do more than that. But secondly, also I think if you add in other things, then it would definitely help in your portfolio in the future and in your career as well. So I wanted to go to London, UK. So I looked up. I I felt I didn't feel confident enough applying for like Oxbridge. So I applied for yeah. So I applied for UCL because they had this course called European Social and Political Studies. Basically, this course is um, usually UK courses are 3 years long. My course is 4 years because in my third year of uni, I will be going abroad. So for me, I chose German as my language. So I'll be going to Germany in year three. So I felt like that was a very big push factor for why I wanted this course also because it allowed me to learn another language and go on a year abroad while also pursuing my interest in terms of politics and international relations and also law as well. Yeah.
Okay. So, what are some of the career prospects that is open to you, okay, once you graduate from this degree that you obtain?
Actually, there are many career options for my degree because my degree is somewhat liberal arts in the sense that you can choose different specialisms. So you can choose to do anthropology or history, geography, or like me, you can choose to do politics, international relations, and you can mix the specialisms. So a lot of the alumni from my degree, they end up in like journalism, some end up in politics, some go to economics because you can specialize in economics as well. So it's really very diverse in terms of the career options.
Okay. So I think economics is something that you want to avoid at all costs.
Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. All right. So thanks for sharing. So for students who are looking to go abroad to UK, Karyn will be sharing her experience in overseas in depth later. All right. So yes, we will move on to the next segment of what was your most memorable moment with us. So before that, okay, before Karyn shares with this, okay, I would like to prove that Karyn was from our program. All right, so you can actually see that the top right hand corner is Karyn. Okay, just now we actually had difficulties shortlisting the photos, right? Yeah, most of the photos cannot see the can't see but anyway, let's come back here. Okay, so Karyn, what maybe you want to share with your juniors here, especially the AYE juniors. Okay, so what is one of your most memorable moment that you had with me, your classmates, anything?
I think it was the first time that I got like a really good grade, and then I think I got a Starbucks card from you, and then I felt so accomplished to get the Starbucks card because I would
Wow.
like see like the class like my classmates going to get like their prizes and stuff. Then I'll be thinking like, when is it gonna be my turn? I'm never gonna get there. Then I got there, and I was like, yes, like I have a Starbucks card, and I still have it now, like the Starbucks card. Yeah,
Serious?
I do use it. Yeah.
Okay, honestly, because this year we actually went online. We actually had difficulties trying to push out the Starbucks card for good rewards or good progress. Yeah, but I did not expect this to have such a positive impact. Okay, yeah. But thanks for sharing this. Okay, it got me triggered. Okay, so for the juniors, so-called juniors was watching this. Thanks to Karyn. Okay, the Starbucks card will be revived. Okay, so if you're in an online class, okay, good progress will. Once you meet a certain criteria, we'll mail you a Starbucks card. Right, good job. All right. So yes, okay, thanks for sharing that. And I just don't want you to be overly competitive because your class, okay, you can actually see that almost all of them, okay, inclusive of yourself, got an A. Yeah, so this is one of my most competitive class for that batch. Yeah, so the thing is don't compete. If not, a lot of students actually feel quite upset. Yeah, but anyway, okay, I think you will share a little bit more about your study tips later. Okay, so I'll remove the screen. Okay, and I will move on to the next part, which is how do you do for your A levels?
Also, for my A levels, I think before that, like when I got my A levels, I was like a very mixture of emotions. I was like very surprised, but also it was just very confusing. Then, okay, to explain that, I got an A for history, econs, and KI. But then for my lit, which was my favorite subject and the subject that I thought was going to be one of the stronger ones, I got a C. So it was
Are you?
yeah, so it was a very big mixture of emotions that day.
Okay. But nonetheless, you are where you are right now. Okay, and I just want you to share with our target audience. Okay, what is the relevance of A-level results post A-levels? So is it that important, or is it or rather after going to university, what is this? What is the relative significance of A-level results? Is there still an emphasis on that?
I think definitely when you're applying for universities, the importance of your A level results really, really comes at you, and you realize that every single letter basically counts when you're applying for universities because they do look at that. But
Yep.
afterwards, for me, I don't have my O level cert because
Oh yes,
yeah,
IP.
because I go through the IP stream. So the A level cert is my is my only symbol of the national exams except for PSLE. So yeah, so it's important to me in terms of emotionally, but I think when it comes to looking for jobs in the future or internship opportunities, it really does matter for what you do in university and how well you score in university and the kind of clubs and societies that you join in university. I think those are the things that matter a lot more than your A-level results.
All right, got it. So thanks for sharing this. So I hope our target audience here, especially our students, yes, A-level results are really important. So once you go into university, okay, like what Karyn has mentioned, it is good to broaden your horizon, okay, get exposed as much as possible. Okay, and A-level results is not everything. Okay, post A-levels. Okay, but right now it's still everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, especially for IP students. Okay, I've heard so many horror stories about IP students who didn't do well, right? So they'll eventually end up with broken A-level grades and a PSLE cert. Has it occurred to any of your friends? I'm not sure. Sorry for digressing.
Yeah, not that I've heard of, but it's definitely a concern that comes with I think every IP student.
Yeah. Okay, so for the IP students who are watching this, okay, it is exceptionally important to do well for your A levels. Yeah, because you don't have a safety net, you don't have O levels to do that.
Yeah, don't have.
Okay, so thanks for sharing. Okay, we are going to move on to the second segment. So the second segment, okay, we will be getting Karyn to share her 3 tips to survive her A levels. Okay, and if you have any questions for Karyn and for myself, okay, feel free to comment. Okay, and we will get in touch during the Q&A. Especially Karyn's mom will be watching this, right? I don't know. Okay. Okay. If hi Miss Karyn, if you are watching this, okay, you can drop a hi. You can drop us a comment and say hi. Okay. And if you have anything that you would like to ask Karyn that you haven't asked her, okay, in real life or face to face, okay, this is the best time to ask her. Okay. So we will be moving to the 3 tips for A levels. So what is your first tip for our students, Karyn?
Yeah, my first tip for A-level students or even just J1 students going to J2 would be definitely to set goals for yourself. And when I talk about set goals, it talks about your short-term, mid-term, and your long-term goals. And these are not standardized. These are definitely up to your own like personalization and up to where you want to go and how you want to set up your goals, basically. I think in terms of long-term goals, an example could possibly be what university course you want to go to or what uni you want to go to. And maybe even further than that, it could be what kind of career you're looking at. And therefore, you map your own journey according to that. Then, for example, a midterm goal to reach that long-term goal of A-level results or of getting your university course, the midterm goal would probably be your A-level results. And a short-term goal would be your own daily goal setting. Or for example, today I want to revise these topics, or today I want to go through this segment of this lecture, for example. And these little goals in your day, I think really like gets your life into a sort of discipline and a sort of a routine and rhythm as well, so that it makes it a lot easier for you to study and see where you're planning out your life also. Because I find for myself that if I don't set goals, I often wonder like, why am I doing this? What's the purpose of me like studying so hard? Where am I going with this? So I think setting goals is definitely not just practical, but also in terms of emotionally, I think it helps you mentally prepare yourself for what you're going to go towards also.
All right, thanks, Karyn. So please help me to understand. Just now you mentioned short-term, mid-term, and long-term goal. So based on the gist of what you have mentioned, am I right to say that getting the long-term goal, to nail down your long-term goal is the most important part? Okay, because
Yeah,
it shapes your mid-term and your short-term direction. Am I right to say that?
yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I have a question though, okay, because a lot of students, we have gone through goal setting with them, but they tell me that, Mr. Teo, I don't know where I want to go. Mr. Teo, I don't know which university course to go. So what is your advice for them, okay, in setting long-term goals like this?
I think for myself, I relate a lot to that because the course I wanted to go to actually wasn't very set out from the beginning. I started out thinking that I wanted to do psychology. Then I realized that you needed math to do psychology, so that was out of the question. then I wanted to do education because I felt like I do have a passion for teaching and educating. So I wanted to do education. But then along the way, like throughout my whole JC course, then I realized that my true passion really lied in politics and international relations. So I think definitely first thing you can talk to alumni who have gone to the universities that you might be interested in. Go to a lot of university fairs because they're free to go to and you can get a lot of resources from there. And then just do a lot of research into what possibly you might be into. It might be a hobby, it might be a society that you've joined, or maybe for those that are doing GP, it might be a topic that you've come across. Then you realize that, yeah, I might be interested in doing something related to psychology or anthropology or even urban planning. So it's a lot of these little things in your life that can give you some sort of hint as to what you yourself you're interested in. Because I think that's what's really important for university courses, not just not just practically like how much money can I earn, what career I want to do, but also how passionate you are for it, because you're going to stick with it for at least like 3 to 4 years. So you must have a feeling for it. Yeah.
It's quite costly to switch, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, so to all these the year ones out there who's moving on to year twos. Okay, I've mentioned this before. Okay, like what Karyn has mentioned, it's good. Okay, to attend as many university fairs, right? Open
Yeah.
houses. Okay, and get yourself exposed, as widely exposed as possible. So you really have an understanding of briefly what course you like and what course you don't like. What Karyn has mentioned. Okay, she has no interest in math. Okay, so psychology and economics is likely to be out because these two are quite mathematically driven, right? All right,
Yeah.
so very important, okay, to widen your horizon. Am I right to say that, Karyn? Okay,
Yeah.
is this a correct summary? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, so thanks for sharing. So we are going to move on to the second set of tips. So what do you have for us, Karyn, for tip number 2?
My second tip is to ask when in doubt. So basically, this means that if you have any questions in your mind, whether it might be a small question or a really, really complex one, I think it always benefits you to just ask because there really isn't any harm to you. Maybe you might feel a little awkward asking the question, but ultimately you will be the one that benefits from asking the questions. So I think don't be afraid to ask your teachers, your lecturers, or your tutors, or even your friends for advice or um, like any tips that they might have, whether it's in terms of studying, in terms of life itself, or whether it's just academic help. I think they definitely will be very willing to help you if you ask them. I think they're just waiting for people to ask them, honestly. Yeah, so it's better to get all your questions out and make sure they're all answered rather than bottle it in and not having it answered and leaving it like to just be unanswered in that sense. Yeah.
So what is one tip, because from my experience, okay, there are students where no matter how you poke, they will not ask. So I don't know. So for students who are naturally introverts, okay, or naturally shy, okay, what is your advice for these students to reach out or to ask when in doubt?
I think I'm also quite introverted myself, so I find it very difficult to go up to a teacher and ask in person like how to do something. So I actually just resort to emailing because it just removes that face to face like awkwardness. But I think it's just also telling yourself that it's now or never. Like if you don't ask now, then when are you gonna ask it? So you just go ahead and do it because like you only have one shot at your A levels, and then so you just have to do as much as you can to be able to reach towards your goal. And I think when you have that mindset in your head, it becomes a bit easier to start asking questions and be a bit more like thick skin, like 厚脸皮, and then just go for it. Yeah.
So am I right to say that other than face-to-face asking, what you have used is actually emailing, WhatsApp, any
Yeah.
other forms of any other modes that you have used in the past when you were schooling and currently when you are in university? Any other modes that you recommend?
I think a very practical way of asking a teacher a question, but you're like too shy to do so, is to tell your friend the question and ask your friend to ask the teacher. Like, your friend is like more extroverted to ask, and then you get your question answered. Then your friend also learns something. Then you also learn something. So it's a win-win situation all around.
Oh, That's a
Yeah.
brilliant tip. All right. So in Chinese, it's what they call what 借刀杀人, right? You borrow your friend's sword to kill someone else.
Yeah.
Wow, brilliant. All right. So yes, for the year ones out there, okay, if you are too shy to ask me anything, okay, on in class, okay, remember there's this thing called breakout room. Okay, breakout room is a one-to-one asking. And no one else will hear what you ask. Okay, but other than that, okay, if you want to ask your school teacher, like what Karyn has mentioned, okay, you can always rely on the third party, okay, your best friend to do the dirty job on your behalf. All right, great. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so yes, for the parents and students out there, okay, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask Karyn, specifically for her experience abroad later, which we will be touching, feel free to drop us a comment below, okay, and we will get back to you during Q&A. So thank you, Karyn. We'll be moving on to tip number 3. So what do you have for us for tip number 3?
For tip number 3, I think this is one of the more important ones, especially to me, which is to have confidence in yourself. Because I think when you go into an exam without having any confidence, it really does affect your perception towards the paper and your attitude when you're going into the exam room. And I for myself, I've always struggled with having confidence in terms of my academics, because I don't think I've been particularly strong, especially when it comes to things where are like more mathematical, for example, like economics. Whenever I yeah, whenever I got like my grades back, and then I would have to go into another like exam, or maybe the promos in J1, I like initially I went into it thinking, oh, I'm gonna die. Like this is gonna be bad. I'm not gonna know anything. Like it's gonna be just too difficult for me. But I realized that that was really, really affecting my mood when I was doing the actual paper, because I wasn't really thinking about like how to answer the question, but more of like how not to fail in the first place. So I definitely think it's easy to say like, oh, just have confidence in yourself, but I understand that it's really difficult to build up that confidence. So I think one tip to build up your confidence in terms of academics would be to build it up slowly by challenging yourself daily with the tougher questions that you might encounter. And then you can practice those tough questions until you finally get it right. And I think that feeling of getting something right, like finally, is a very good feeling, and a feeling that would allow you to build confidence in yourself and tell yourself that you are capable of reaching your goals, and you are capable of basically acing whatever you want to ace. Yeah.
All right, so maybe can I trouble you to use an example of building confidence and starting from a hard question. Out of the subjects that you took, like you can pick any of the subjects that you took, and you can share with us how does practicing or how does attempting one can actually help to build a baby step towards having more confidence.
Yeah, I think this is a super relevant example, but it's econs. Like I think
Really?
yeah, like, it's not just for this interview, but really like econs, I think is the topic that I struggled with the most. And whenever I saw difficult questions, I initially I tried to skip past it and pretend it doesn't exist, because it's just the easy way out. And be like, I won't come out, never mind, then I just don't do it. But then I realized that by going through like previous answers, like what people had previously answered, and then looking through like the tips from AYE also, and like seeing how to answer the questions, and then slowly building up my answer and practicing how to answer those difficult questions, and like handing it up and knowing that you got it right. I think for econs is especially important. It was really important for me, especially because after getting it wrong so many times, to get it right that one time, I think is a very impactful and a momentous like period of like moment for me. Yeah, so I definitely think practicing difficult questions until you get it right is a very good way to go.
Okay. So one last question for this. So let's say if the difficult question is really beyond reach, okay, so what is your advice, okay, to overcome this? Let's say if this question is really beyond me.
I think then it comes back to tip 2, which is to ask when in doubt, and just go ahead and ask your tutors or even ask your friends, because I think like your friends are there to help you, and I think they'll be willing to like look through the question with you. And if both of you don't understand the question, then go ahead, ask the teacher, and then both of you will be able to learn from it also.
Okay, so in a nutshell, am I right to say that it is practice that builds progress? We are not looking at
Yeah.
perfection, right? It's just baby steps to build progress and to slowly see that when you're getting things right, your confidence level is going to spiral upwards.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so to our target audience, especially the J1s, okay, this is the reason why our program is very heavily centric around practice. Okay, so it's not that I want to kill you guys, okay, but it is really to condition you guys for exam. Okay, and I'm not looking for the perfect answers. Okay, I'm looking for progress. Okay, so make sure you don't get the question wrong twice. All right. So thanks for sharing this. Okay, I do have a comment here. Okay, Andrew said hi. Who is Andrew? Your
Uh,
dad?
I don't know, it's my brother,
Okay. Your younger or older brother?
older brother.
Oh, older brother. All right. So, hi, Andrew. Okay, if you have any questions for Karyn, okay, please drop us a comment below. Okay, specifically, how is her abroad life and any things that you want to find out from her abroad life, you can ask her later. Any things that you like to hide from your abroad life that cannot be disclosed? Okay. Now we'll be serious. Huh? Okay, so this is the most important highlight. Okay, so out of my students, most of them actually chose local unis. Okay, so it's only that handful that actually pursue overseas university. All right, so I would just like to ask you, okay, what is your experience abroad like? Okay, in UK, okay, especially at a young age of was it 18 or 19, you have to travel alone to UK. How was it initially like? Okay, and what challenges did you face? Putting academics aside, okay, adjusting to culture, that kind of thing. Okay, and what are your takeaways from your overseas experience? And before that, okay, parents and students, okay, if you want to ask Karyn want to find out a lot more about UK, please use this opportunity to ask her. Okay, Karyn, back to you.
I think just to recap, so I went to University College London. So I went to London, and then when I first went there, my parents went with me, so to just like settle me in, settle like the phone card and the bank account and everything together with me. So they were with me there for 2 weeks, and then after the 2 weeks, I was left there by myself. Yeah. I think for going abroad, it was a pretty good experience because before going abroad, there's actually a Singapore society in my university. So it basically already built up a community for me to be able to reach out to people if I had any questions and any problems regarding going overseas. But once I was there, originally I felt a little bit it was a bit of like a culture shock, a bit, because it's just the very very little things. Like for example, in Singapore when we see each other we just like hi, hello. But for in the UK they'll be like, oh hi, how are you? And then it would just like stun me a bit. I'll be like, I'm
How to
okay.
react? How
Yeah,
to
like,
react?
oh, I'm okay. How are you? That kind of thing. Yeah. So it's just like little things that took me a while to get used to. But once I got used to it, like the really bad weather in London, like the
Is
rain
it
and then
true?
the wind.
So it is true, is it, that the weather is
Yeah.
perpetually bad? Rainy, is
Yeah,
it?
I yeah, I wasn't expecting the rain to be that intense. And my umbrella would like flip and everything. Then it's just
Oh,
but
goodness.
yeah, but I met a lot of good people there and a lot of people that shared very similar interests to me and people and a lot of friends that I think like to me like as of now would like be able to last a lifetime with me. So I was able to meet a lot of different people from different countries, which I think might be a bit different in local universities where you usually mix around with mainly Singaporeans. But I was able to meet different people and know about their backgrounds and their culture from their different countries. So I definitely think it was a very eye-opening experience for me. And it also helped a lot in terms of building my own independence because in Singapore, like you can rely on everything. You can like rely on your parents, you can rely on your siblings to like help you with everything. But when you're overseas, you're really like there alone. So it really taught me how to live by myself and how to take care of myself also, which are really valuable experiences to me.
So am I right to say that tip number two actually came in handy, ask when in doubt or ask when you need help?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so maybe you want to share with us what is one particular challenge that you encountered in UK. There was just now you mentioned some brief cultural difference, but aside from that, any other particular challenges that for students who are moving who was looking for UK experience to study there, what should they look out for? What are the pitfalls they should look out for?
I think definitely it takes some getting used to in terms of how the UK system works in terms of the different modules that you can take, because it's very different from it's very different from JC, but it's also different from Singapore universities in terms of how they do grading and how you write essays. Because in Singapore it seems like there's a set way to like do your essays, but it might not be the same when you go overseas to like your university, and your different lecturers will have different ways of marking and different marking schemes and criterias as well. So you have to learn how to like change your writing style according to perhaps like what the lecturer or might be looking for, or what the module is also aiming for. So it was a bit of a difficulty for me to get used to at first, but over time when I started asking questions to the tutors, like what are you looking for, what kind of essay like structure are you looking for, then it became a lot easier when I started asking questions.
So it's essentially you're asking what's the criteria that be graded upon.
Yeah.
It falls back to tip number 2 again. Ask whether. Okay, so thanks for sharing. Okay, so I think for today, one of the most important tip, okay, that Karyn has shared with us over and over again is to ask when in doubt. Okay, and considering when I know Karyn during her college days, she's actually quite quiet. Do you ask a lot back then, or it took you time to ask?
I think it
So this
definitely took me, yeah, it definitely took me time because I'm more introverted, and it just like takes a lot of courage to ask questions and to admit that you don't know something. But I think slowly along the way I kind of got there somewhat. Yeah.
All right, so this is something very precious, okay, and especially for students who are watching this, okay, ask and it will be given. All right, so thanks, Karyn, for sharing your overseas experience. So we are going to move on to the last segment, okay. So, yes, okay, what is your message, okay, to your AYE juniors who is currently in pursuing their A levels or promos? Okay, what is your one singular message that you want to broadcast to them?
I think like really my main message would be to focus on your mental health a lot during this period of time, especially now with the like pandemic. I think it makes things a lot worse because you're just a lot more isolated, and it gets very difficult to reach out as well. And I think like it's just a very stressful period of time overall, like A levels, because it feels like everything is riding on it. But I think really take the time to focus on yourself sometimes. Take some time out to do activities that you enjoy. It might be just like playing like a short video game, or maybe just listening to some music, or going out for like a walk or a jog. But these little things definitely help your mental health in this period of time when it's really, really stressful for you. And also that like A levels is not the end of the road. Even if you might not do very well, or you're not doing very well even in this process itself, don't give up, and it's not the end of the road for you. There's so many opportunities out there for you to explore, and everybody is here for a reason, like on this earth. So you will be able to find your purpose and your reason soon. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, it reminds me of a book that I read by Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. I don't know whether you read the book. Yeah, but it sounds something along. So I highly recommend whoever that's watching this, hey, whatever they've mentioned is closely aligned to what he has written in the book. Okay, and maybe one more thing that I want to ask. So your personal, how do you personally, so just now, what was your message was, was it confidence or some
Oh yeah.
mental health, right? Mental health.
Yeah.
And so how did during your A level days, what do you do to improve your mental health state, or to take breaks? What do you personally do?
I think it's like I did basically kind of like a reward system for myself, which is like I study like for the entire like for the front part of the whole day. Then I set out that time to do that. So basically I scheduled my time. I did my own study plan. So I will study at the beginning of the day. Then at night I will be able to watch my K-drama or like watch my
Wow.
K-pop videos.
Oh
And then
yes,
like that,
I remember BTS.
yeah, it's so
Are you still,
doing.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so definitely I think rewarding yourself is a good way of encouraging yourself to keep pushing forward and not giving up and not stopping halfway.
Okay. So I hope whoever that's watching this, okay, having a small reward system like a small K-pop drama, going to YouTube, watch your BTS video, okay, it's a good break for you. Okay, remember to take ample breaks. Okay, and yes, mental health is the most important part. Okay, so Karyn, thanks for sharing your advice, okay, to our AYE juniors. Okay, so now please let me introduce the speaker for next week. Okay, so the speaker for next week will be Miss Joey Tan. Okay, so Miss Joey Tan is a current GP tutor who was formerly a JC lecturer from Hwa Chong, coincidentally, okay, as well as a former corporate lawyer. So she will be sharing GP tips next week as well as career guidance with a law degree. So see you all next Monday at 9:30. So once again, if you like our community series, please like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel to receive latest updates. Okay, and I'll thank you and see you all next week. Bye bye.